Hello everybody and welcome to Sin City Living. My name is Jason. I'm bringing you today's video. Just had a few things I wanted to go over real fast. First, our usual shout out of appreciation to all of our patrons out there. We appreciate all those tips and support, and hope you guys are enjoying the videos that we put out for you guys exclusively every single week, including the How to Deal Craps instructional set that is ongoing. And if you're curious about it, go ahead and check the description of the video down below. And also, I wanted to go over, we've had a couple of questions about the this little neon light thing that we've been putting on some of our other videos. So if anybody's interested in one of these, just shoot us an email at sincityliving.lv@gmail.com. And so I did another test of our live stream, another attempt to do the live stream. So I now know that I have the right equipment, the right camera, the right programming, able to get all of that done. Unfortunately, what I did discover is that my computer was not strong enough, was not powerful enough to be able to encode and upload it as an actual live stream. So I'm going to continue tweaking with that, although it may turn out that I'm just going to have to wait until I can afford to buy a newer, more powerful computer for that. So that will be on the list. So it does look like live streaming may not be as upcoming as I was hoping. It's going to take us a little bit of time to generate that up. And otherwise, please make sure you email us with any questions, strategies, anything you would like us to video. We love shooting these videos for you guys. If not, I'm going to go straight into today's video. So for today's video, I want to talk about a strategy that I saw on the tables the other day. So real player, real strategy, and it's an interesting one. Does some things that most people won't do, but also has a lot of things in common with most strategies, because as we've discussed in the past, there's really only about 4 actual strategies to craps. Everything else is just a mix and match or modification or a tweak to it. So this one is a place bet strategy, like most of them. And what it does is it really goes for it from the get-go. It's the reason that I kind of call this strategy the balls to the wall, because it's not wasting any time. This player absolutely 100% goes for it. So they start out with 220 inside. So this is definitely not a strategy for the faint of heart. However, keep in mind that you can certainly bring this down to whatever level you are comfortable with. I'm doing it this way because this is how the player played it, and I want to feature what I saw for real. But again, you could drop this all the way down if you wanted to. If you were on a $10 minimum bet table and wanted to do 44 inside, go for it. If you're on a $15 minimum table, so you want to do 66 inside, go for it. It doesn't change the strategy in any way, shape, or form. So what made this strategy different is right here. On the come out roll, this player always had his bets working. Yes, it burned him a few times. There were some times where he had to come back in. So there were times where he was $440 invested into the roll, even $660 invested into the roll. So on occasion, yes, this would absolutely burn the player, but he would bring it right back. And this is how he played it. He always played it with his bets working. And then from there, he was very, very, very aggressive. Does not mean he wouldn't take money, but for instance, right here, the point is 6. So 60 would get paid 70, and since the 6 is the point, and he would have a pass line bet with odds, although he would also place the point next to it for however much he wanted to play. Since the 6 is the point, he would come off the 6. If the 6 were not the point, he would take his payout, and he would throw in $70 right here. He would throw in an additional $50 so that he could bring his 6 and his 8 up to 120. Since the point is 6, we will not do that, but that's what he would do. So if the point were, say, a 5, he would throw in $50 and he would say, take my 6 and 8 up to 120 apiece. So that was his first goal. His first goal was, no matter what, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that just so you guys can get an idea. So let's say the point ended up being a 4 even. No, we'll say 5. So the point ended up being a 5. Right, so he would come down here, but he would bring his 6 and 8 up. Now the next thing in the hit, that hit regardless of what hit, he would next focus on the 5 and 9. Since the 5 is the point, he would just focus on the 9 and get that one up to a black as well. So, you know, let's say a 6 were to roll, or let's take a look. Okay, 4 would roll. That doesn't really help. So, once the 6 roll, because he would just wait. He would not place the 4 and 10 until a certain point in his strategy. So even if a 4 rolled, he would just sit there and stare. Nothing he could do about it. But as soon as something rolled, if it was a 6 or an 8, even better, but it could just be a 9. Either way, he's going to collect what is left. He's going to go up to 100 on the 9, and he's going to collect what is left. If the 9 had rolled, he would only be collecting $20. If the point ended up out here, none of these would get pressed from the beginning, so he would have to push as things hit. As things hit, he would start pressing them. But he would not press them from the get-go if the point ended up being a 4 or 10, so he wasn't getting paid. Right? So he always had his bets working, and he would push initially to get his bets into the black. Once they are into the black, at that point is when he's going to go for the 4 and 10, but he's going to go for it slightly smaller. So all of these pay $140, so it doesn't even matter what hits. They all get paid $140. He's going to collect the $40, and he's going to go to $50 each on the 4 and 10. And see, this is the part where he starts collecting a little bit. Something else hits. If it's one of the inside numbers, then he's going to collect. He's again going to collect $40 because he is going to press these up to the black as well. He gets to the black as fast as he can on all of his bets. Then as soon as he's in the black, now he starts on a mid-press type of strategy, or even sometimes he would do a collect and then press. Sometimes he would mid-press, sometimes he would collect and then press. So, for instance, let's say another 6 were to roll. Right? So in some cases he would collect it and say same bet, and then the next time it rolled he would go all the way up to $240 on it. Sometimes he would do a mid-press, and if he was doing a mid-press, what he would very likely do, we do this way, he would very likely take the 140 and he would just get paid 150 for 10 and he would collect $80 and he would go up to 180. So it's a mid-press, but it's a very, very aggressive mid-press. Now let's say that 6 were to hit again. He would get paid 210, and what he would say is take me to 240. So now he would collect $150. So once he gets into the black level, that's where he starts collecting, because at that point he's generally going to collect between 50 to $100 on almost every single roll as he's doing these mid presses, or like I said, collect the 140, and then the next time around full press and only collect $20. Right? Either way, you're collecting an average of $80, but one way makes sure that he's getting more into his rail. Like I said, this strategy can be reduced down even lower. If you wanted to start with 44 inside, then what you're trying to do with a lower bankroll is now you're just kind of bum rushing up to a quarter. You want to get to the quarter, 30, quarter. Then you start the mid press. Then from there you'll be collecting a green at least, or close to a green every single roll. It all depends what you're comfortable with, what your bankroll can support, and what your goal is. What is it that you want to do? I wanted to feature this because it does have commonalities with almost every strategy that we show, which is the place bets and various pressing methods. It's also very aggressive and different than most strategies. He works on the come out roll, and there's an actual reason for him to work on the come out roll. He is hoping that an inside number hits, which is half of the potential, over half of the potential rolls of the dice that are non-sevens. So he's got a better than 50-50 shot of a point landing and it being one of these numbers, and then he can use that money to already increase his bets. He is trying to increase his bets really before the game even starts for most players. Most players, they don't start their place bets and all that until there's a point. He's like, screw that. I want that first roll of the dice to also be part of my strategy. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing great about it, but there's nothing wrong with that either. It's just another roll of the dice. In one of our further videos later on, we're going to talk about working on the come out roll, why some people do, why some people don't, and really what you may want to do yourself. So fairly basic strategy. The only real twist is working on the come out roll and then how aggressive he is from the very beginning. He basically works on the come out roll, power presses, then mid presses. So it's interesting. The other thing you can do with this once you get to the black is you can go into the press one unit thing. The press one unit thing, as we have shown in the past, is one of the most underrated strategies in dice. Almost nobody uses it, and yet it's so much more powerful than just about every strategy out there, except for things like the mid press and power press. And even those, depending on how long the roll goes, pressing one unit might work as well. However, when you're in the black, really once you get into the green, very rarely is one unit considered $5 or $6. Typically, one unit now is the green. So if you were, say, at $120 8 and you were pressing at one unit, if the 8 hit and you pressed at one unit, you would actually press it to $150. You would press it up by $30. We tend to look at that $30 unit as one unit once you get up into the greens, definitely once you get up into the blacks. So I hope you guys find this interesting, illuminating, enlightening, or at the very least, entertaining. We will catch you guys next time. Thank you very, very much for watching. Bye now. So, as I promised, I wanted to go over very briefly our upcoming attempts at a third test live stream. So what's happened so far? The first test live stream just flat didn't work. The problem that I had was was an equipment problem. I had an equipment problem in that the equipment that I was using to translate the camera into streamable video to the computer required a better USB port than the computer I was using at the time. So that one just flat failed because it would not translate into the computer. The computer would not pick it up, would not read it, so I wasn't able to live stream it. So then, as I was looking through, because I'm a little bit of a tech head, as I was looking through all of my other stuff, because I do have 4 laptops here and 3 computers, I did find one that actually did have the newer style USB port. Unfortunately, it was actually my oldest laptop, but I figured, what the heck, let me give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? And this time around, when I fired everything up, the video was actually translating onto the computer, so things were looking better. But then when I attempted to live stream, the computer was not powerful enough to be able to translate it and then upload it sufficiently. So it basically just uploaded a blank screen for the live stream. So what I am going to have to do is, and I'm already looking into all of my options, I'm going to upgrade my computer so I can add, what, a 7th, 8th computer to my household. And I'm going to go much, much higher, and I'm going to get a computer that is far more than I need for this, far, far, far more powerful than I need for this. That way, any future upgrades that I may do, the computer will be able to handle it. So unfortunately, this computer is going to cost me about 25% more, about 25% of what I've already laid out in all the equipment for this channel. So it wasn't something that I could just instantly buy. I'm probably looking at Black Friday or Cyber Monday. So hopefully I have it within the next couple of weeks, and then I'll do another test live stream and see if I can go from there. So I will definitely do at least one weekly live stream on our Patreon because they're the ones that are really helping us get this computer. And the other equipment that I'm going to get, because I figure if I'm buying the computer, I might as well buy the most high-end capture cards and things along those lines, get everything as good as possible, and then hopefully eventually get a better microphone for you guys. So yeah, that's where we stand on the live stream. As soon as I have the computer and I do the test, which will be in a few weeks, like I said, I've got to order it in a week or two, then I have to wait for it to ship. Plus we have probably the biggest event of the year coming up, the NFR National Finals Rodeo. So I'm basically working 2 weeks straight, as is my wife. So not going to have a whole lot of time. But once we get all that under control, then we'll figure out. There's been some schedule changes to myself, some schedule changes to my wife, and some upcoming schedule changes to my wife as well. So hopefully we can get all the scheduling figured out so I know when I'll be able to live stream as well. My initial plan of Thursdays at 6 o'clock is already out the window. I'm at work at that point now. So we will get it all figured out, and we will let you guys know, I promise. And otherwise, I hope you guys have found this interesting, enlightening, illuminating, or at least just plain fun. And we will catch you guys next time. Bye now.